excited. Ryan?
Ryan? So y'all remember Ryan's World, right? The kid who built an empire before he even lost his baby teeth? Yeah, that one. The walking idiom machine for his parents' retirement plan. What started as a kid opening toys turned into a billion-dollar franchise built on one rule: keep the kid smiling, no matter how miserable the machine gets. Well, he's not that little kid anymore, but you wouldn't know it, because the cameras don't care about growing up. They only care about staying marketable. If you don't know the story, it's simple. Ryan's parents had regular jobs, a regular life, and a regular kid. But then that kid picked up a toy on camera and everything changed. The views exploded, the sponsors flooded in, and before long, regular wasn't profitable anymore. Both parents quit their jobs, not to raise him, but to manage him, or depending on how you look at it, use him. They built an entire company around his face, hired a 30-person production team, and called it Sunlight Entertainment. A nice name for something that never really sees daylight. Now Ryan's 14, still pretending to be 6, because the brand depends on it. The empire keeps running, the money keeps coming, and the kid who built it all doesn't even get to grow up. Here's what's happening right now. Those glory days of Ryan crossing a billion views per video, they're gone. Vapor, wiped off. What's left? A shadow of that monster channel, scratched to getting hundreds of thousands of views. Some videos barely break 100,000. That's not a decline. That's collapse. A 70+% plunge in viewership for a channel built on scale is not a hiccup. It's a hemorrhage. So why did it happen? Well, a few things. Aging out. Ryan is no longer adorable toddler energy. The audience that once delighted in watching him unbox toys is growing up. The new generation of kids probably wants different content. Second, algorithm changes and regulation. YouTube and regulators have tightened how content with minors is handled, how kids' channels get recommended and possibly throttled monetization. Third, of course, it's stale. The same open toy, surprise eggs, big reactions formula was repeated until it lost its spark. It's hard to sustain that energy when the star is growing up. And finally, competition. There are more creators, more formats, more trends. Even kids' attention spans have evolved. But here's the brutal truth. The machine that turned Ryan into a dollar sign is now threatening to tear itself apart. Because you can't milk a kid forever, eventually something has to change or bloodbath continues. After everything came crashing down, Ryan's mom even admitted they lost nearly 70% of their income overnight. 70%! We're talking about a family that once made millions off of a single upload, a kid whose name sold toys faster than most brands could ship them out. The money was endless until it wasn't. Overnight, it just stopped pouring in. They went from billion-view videos and million-dollar sponsorships to struggling for clicks because they never evolved. They tried to milk the same formula, the same image, the same childhood long after it was gone. The problem is, you can't fake being 6 when you're 14. The audience grew up, the algorithm moved on, and the world finally got tired of watching a brand pretending a teenager was still a child. They built an empire off of his youth, and when that youth ran out, so did everything else. And you'd think it couldn't get worse than that, right? One day you're making millions, the next day the faucet just runs dry. But somehow they managed to make it worse, because apparently losing their income wasn't enough. They had to lose the money they'd already made too. So Ryan's parents had this genius idea to make a movie called Ryan's World. The movie, Titan Universe Adventure. $10 million went into it. $624,000 came back out. That's a $9.5 million hole in the ground, covered with a colorful merch and fake smiles. At that point, it wasn't just bad luck. It was like they were trying to recreate their own personal version of the 2008 financial crisis. The empire didn't just crumble, it sank under the weight of its own greed. The film itself felt like an overpriced home video, something you'd expect to find buried on a family camcorder, not plastered across theater screens. Theaters were emptier than a Roblox server at 3 AM. About a third week, indie films nobody had even heard of were outgrossing Ryan's so-called Hollywood debut. And honestly, when you look at it, this whole thing feels like karma in its purest form. They spent years milking that kid's childhood for clicks, turning every laugh and every toy into a paycheck. And when the views dried up, they thought they could just buy back relevance with the movie. Except now, not only did the new money stop coming in, but the old money started disappearing too. It's like the universe looked at this whole setup and said, "You wanted a cash grab? Here's your refund, with interest." In more ways than one, it's poetic justice. And when Ryan finally started showing signs of fatigue, like visibly, you could tell something was off. It didn't matter if he was shooting a video, doing an interview, or standing on a red carpet. The kid just looked done. Like he'd rather be doing literally anything else. playing Minecraft in silence, watching paint dry, filing taxes, anything but this. So naturally, his parents had another brilliant idea. Well, we've still got 2 more kids, right? Enter Ryan's twin sisters. Fresh faces for the content machine. Suddenly, they're front and center, popping up in videos, thumbnails, and even their own animated show. It's like they just swapped out the batteries and kept the camera rolling. At this point, even the final boss of late-stage capitalism would look at this and say, alright, maybe tone it down a bit. And at this point, even the internet isn't blind to it anymore. The public opinion is finally catching up to what's been obvious for years, that the Kajis just didn't build a business, they built it out of their own kid. They turned childhood into a product line, a human being into content, their own child into a brand. And now as they're starting to do the same thing with his twin sisters, people aren't staying quiet about it anymore. Every upload, every new family project gets called out for what it really is, a desperate attempt to keep the machine alive. And the reason this is bad runs deeper than just bad parenting or greed, because when a kid grows up being filmed every day of his life, he never gets to figure out who he actually is. His emotions, his reactions, his identity, they stop being real and start being performances. When you've been told since you were 6 that your smile pays the bills, you stop knowing how to smile for yourself. It's not just exploitation anymore, it's erasure. You're watching a childhood get repackaged into content, sold to millions, and stripped away piece by piece, all in the name of staying relevant. Ryan's world today feels like watching a ghost of what it used to be. You can see it in his face, that spark's gone. The same kid who once lit up opening a toy now just goes through the motions. He laughs because he's supposed to, not because he wants to. Every interview, every video, it's written all over him. He's exhausted, drained, and honestly just done. But the saddest part is that his parents still act like he's 6. They keep talking to him in the same sing-song kid voice, handing him toys like he hasn't aged a decade, forcing him into this permanent childhood bubble because the brand depends on it. It's not parenting, it's preservation, preserving the illusion that he's still the same little boy the internet fell in love with, even if it means pretending not to see that he's grown up, that he's tired, that maybe he just wants to stop. And that's what makes it so disturbing. He's not being treated like a person anymore, just a mascot that outlived his childhood.
Ryan of Ryan's World.
We did it! Ta-da!
Ryan is busy with school, which, I mean, he is growing up, I get it, but instead of finding some kind of organic way to move forward, they thought, why not just throw a couple of adults in front of a green screen and have them play pirate superheroes or whatever the kids are into?
I'm just trying.
Oh, okay, got a little bit on the desk. There you go, there you go, there you go.
You mix into here or here, right? It's the same, right?
Change. Oh, very good, very good.
Did I pass? Did I pass?
Seriously. 2 grown adults in awful costumes overacting their way through what I can only describe as a fever dream version of a rejected locals kids show skit. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that feels like it came from one of those educational cable shows your grandma watches in the middle of the night, except even those had better budgets. The whole vibe is like watching a live action version of Pee-wee's Playhouse, but without the charm, energy, or any trace of nostalgia. It's just 2 people flailing around with no purpose, acting like they're auditioning for a role in a high school play. There's no spark, no connection. It's like the channel's last-ditch attempt at clinging to relevance by throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. And surprise, surprise, nothing's sticking. The audience? Yeah, they're not buying it. Kids didn't sign up to watch random adults play dress up and awkwardly laugh in front of a green screen. Did they miss the memo? Ryan's fanbase was built on a kid being genuine, not on some half-baked low-budget adult skits. You used to see Ryan unboxing toys, doing slime experiments, and bringing that pure, infectious family energy. And now, they're lucky if they break 50k views in a week. A channel that once effortlessly crossed the 100 million views, now it's struggling to hit double digits. It's not even a good kind of flop, it's a painfully obvious desperation for anything that'll keep the lights on. Now let's talk about why they're scrambling. Oh, they're struggling alright. Ryan's out there doing homework while his parents are sweating bullets trying to keep the media empire afloat. And guess what? It's not about the views anymore, it's about survival. You know what happens when you build an empire on this scale? The lifestyle gets ridiculous. You've got a multi-million-dollar mansion, you're hopping on private jets to Disneyland, you've got full production teams running around doing everything but producing quality content, and suddenly the views dry up and you're stuck with a bunch of legal fees and a sinking ship.
999,998, 999,999, 1 million.
Excellent.
All right, training done. Time to go to superhero school. All right, guys. Before we go to superhero school, let me show you a sneak peek for my new movie, Ryan's World's Titan review.
And Ryan's content? It did not age up, like at all. It's still rainbow thumbnails, high-pitched jingles, and his mom dressed as a pirate or something. Bro, you think a middle schooler with depression and a Discord addiction is tuning in for a toy review? Be serious.
Whoa! Look at all the pink. I love pink. It's my favorite color.
Oh yeah? The black is way cooler. Look, check out this black bed and black wall with spider webs. This room is so much better. You know, black is better.
No, pink is better.
No, I cannot agree.
Pink is way better. Don't you guys think?
No, black paint everything.
Pink is so colorful and wonderful.
Some creators pivot, they evolve. They hit a rebrand. Ryan's World just doubled down on the kid stuff like it's 2017 forever. Meanwhile, the new wave of toddlers, they've got better options. Cocomelo's basically a cult. Also, Ryan's older now. He's out here doing homework, which means less Ryan on screen. And when Ryan's not there, it's just his parents. And let's be honest, no one's tuning in for the parents. And let's also rewind to 2019 for a second. That's when the FTC stepped in with the biggest slap to YouTube's face, like a $170 million size slap, because they were collecting data on kids under 13 without parental consent, which obviously is illegal. I mean, you can't just let Google track your kids' every click and then target them with ads for toys. It's like giving a stranger your kid's social security number while they're in the candy aisle at Target. YouTube, they weren't about to catch that heat again, so they flipped the switch hard in 2020. Any channel that got flagged as made for kids, which, let's be real, Ryan's World is basically the poster child for that, got slammed with a list full of restrictions that pretty much killed any hopes of being a money-making machine. No personalized ads? Bye-bye ad revenue. These kids' channels were raking in millions just from ads targeting parents who were ready to buy the latest toy or whatever nonsense Ryan's parents were promoting that week. Now, not a chance. You're lucky if your video doesn't just disappear into the algorithm void. No comments? Rip engagement. You know that whole community thing? Gone. Ryan's World used to be a playground for these salty little kids leaving absolutely unhinged comments about how they wanted to buy every single thing Ryan reviewed. Now, it's crickets. No notification bell? You know what that means. Fewer returning viewers, basically fewer eyeballs on your content. YouTube doesn't even care anymore. It's like trying to throw a party and then not inviting your friends. And here's where it gets real ugly for Ryan. This wasn't just some toy unboxing channel. This was a whole empire. You think Ryan's World was just about getting some cash from Google Ads? Nah, dude, that was the front. The back end, it was Target aisles, exclusive deals with toy brands, Ryan's face on everything from toothbrushes to lunchboxes. It was an entire merchandising machine. But the second YouTube cracked down on targeted ads for kids, boom, bye-bye visibility. If YouTube's not recommending your stuff, you don't get views. And if parents don't trust YouTube as much, they're not shoving their toddlers in front of Ryan's face every day, which, you guessed it, leads to fewer toy sales, fewer licensing deals, fewer deals with whoever's still dumb enough to give Ryan his own branded mattress. It's all connected, bro. And then, public scrutiny started coming in hot. Some watchdog groups like Truth in Advertising started stirring the pot, accusing Ryan's World of, get this, marketing to preschoolers without clear ad disclosures. Now, while the FTC didn't directly crush Ryan's World with a fine, the perception, donezo. Parents started side-eyeing the channel like, is this wholesome family fun or are we all just getting scanned into buying overpriced plastic? It gets worse though. YouTube's algorithm, straight up capping. The machine that's supposed to recommend videos to your audience, it's now looking at Ryan's World like a dying animal and slowly walking away. Why? The engagement's down, the money's down. YouTube doesn't care about the causes anymore because Ryan's videos aren't clicking with the algorithm the way they used to. At this point, they're basically doing anything to stay relevant, and the results are nothing short of catastrophic. Like, you think these people were living in some kind of creative alternate universe where they thought hiring two random adult actors to replace Ryan himself would somehow bring the magic back. Spoiler alert, it's not working. It's honestly like watching a slow motion train wreck but with more costumes and more cringe. What makes things even worse is that they're constantly re-uploading the same videos over and over again. Like they're digging through the same dusty footage and pulling out classic clips from 2017, slapping a fresh thumbnail on it and calling it new content. Look, I get it. Back in the day, Ryan's World was the go-to channel for kids. It was like a magical roller coaster of toy unboxings, pretend play, and treasure hunts that felt fresh every time. One video, Ryan's dressing up like a superhero. The next, he's taking you on a backyard scavenger hunt. The unpredictability was what kind of kept kids hooked, right? It was like a never-ending season of their favorite show. Every upload felt like it could be the next big thing. And parents? Well, they were just happy their kids were entertained for 20 minutes. Now it's like deja vu on steroids. Every other video is literally the same. Ryan versus Daddy for the 100th time. The same toy unboxing challenges, and don't even get me started on those recycled educational songs. songs. Sometimes it's just a random compilation of old footage with a new thumbnail and clickbait title. Like, bro, we can see through that. We know what you're doing. Now even his sisters, Emma and Kate, are starting to get roped into this whole mess. Yeah, the twins, baby influencers 2.0. It wasn't even subtle. They started popping up in more skits, more product placements, more cutesy content that just happened to push merch. And let's be for real, it wasn't family bonding, it was brand onboarding.
First step, you have to put it inside. Turn that butt into this arrow.
You both hear it? Hear it?
Yeah. Yay! I got this one. This is not possible. I need.
Whoa. Oh, Emma coming too. Be careful. Hi, Emma. Whoa. Look at Emma go.
Welcome to Ryan's Family Review.
Take that! Take that! And this! And that!
This kid has spent over half his life filming toy reviews. That's not childhood. That's corporate servitude with Lego bricks.
I'm here to help.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm the Green Ghost, and I'm here to join your Titan family if you'd have me.
Well, if you want.
I was really young, like 3 years old. I always saw lots of really young, like, content creators, and I asked my parents if we could do something like that. And we started as just like a toy reviewing channel.
And then came EK World. Not even joking, that's the name. Sounds like a toddler-run dystopia. But no, it's a full-blown spin-off franchise. These kids didn't just get videos, they got toy lines, backpacks, lunchboxes, probably NFTs at this point. The whole thing felt less like, aw, sibling fun, and more like executive decision made during a boardroom meeting while sipping from Ryan's World thermoses.
This video features EK World toys that Ryan, Emma, and Kate helped create.
Hi, Emma K.
Hi, Daddy.
Do you know what we're doing today?
No.
And before anyone says, but Ryan made millions. Yeah, he did. Keyword, past tense. His parents saw those dollar signs, and instead of letting him retire like a normal middle schooler, they kept the content train going full throttle. Ryan didn't get a childhood, he got brand deals. That boy didn't get grounded, he got demonetized. And now his parents are planning to do the same thing with Ryan's sisters. So let's be real here. This isn't content, it's asset diversification. The twins are being positioned like IP, not actual people. The characters in a never-ending YouTube cinematic universe, engineered to stay adorable and sellable while Ryan ages out of the target demo. That's the wildest part. There wasn't even a grace period, just a straight baton pass from Ryan's camera smile to Emma and Kate's. The twins look like they're being held hostage by glitter glue. Every video had this weird, almost uncanny vibe. Emma and Kate standing there trying to smile through it, looking like they'd rather be doing literally anything else. The body language didn't scream, yay, fun time. It screamed confused child actors being coached mid-take. Half the time they looked like they were waiting for someone behind the camera to give the go-ahead to blink.
Hi, guys.
What are we opening today?
Cookie Maker Cupcake.
Which one do you want, Emma?
I want this one or this one.
I see. What about you, Kate?
I think I want the kitty cat. This one.
The pink one?
Yes.
Super cute. All right, but we have to guess which one that you guys are gonna get.
Ryan's World? More like child exploitation world. And honestly, it's not even a joke at this point, it's a summary. With everything said, it's definitely that time to get to the internet's verdict on the situation as well. Imagine being 14 and still having to build cardboard forts and travel through time. It's funny on the surface, but if you sit with it for a second, it's actually depressing. Because the commenter isn't mocking Ryan, they're pointing out how unnatural it is that he's still being forced to act like a little kid for views. When you're 14, you're supposed to be figuring out who you are, not pretending to be 6 because your parents turned your personality into a franchise. From a child's dream to a walking bank. This is basically the definition of child labor. Ryan started as a kid who just wanted to play with toys, and somewhere along the way, that turned into a full-blown corporate brand. What was once joy became a job. What was once playtime became production time. The worst thing is, he goes to my summer camp. I'm not naming which one it is, but it's in New York. He's 14, I think, and when anyone mentions anything about his YouTube channel, he goes silent. He just wants to be a normal kid. Imagine being known worldwide before you even understand what fame is, and then spending the rest of your life trying to act like it doesn't define you. The fact that a 14-year-old goes silent when someone mentions his own YouTube channel, the same channel that built his family's fortune, says more about how damaging this whole setup really is. Ryan's world went from a kid opening toys to a billion-dollar brand built on his childhood, and now it's collapsing under its own weight. The views are gone, the money's drying up, and even the movie they made lost millions. Ryan's visibly burned out, still forced to act like a little kid while his parents shift the spotlight to his younger sisters to keep the empire alive. What started as innocent fun turned into a textbook case of child exploitation, and now the internet's finally calling it what it is. A kid who just wanted to be normal turned into a product he can't escape from.